Indiana Podcast Network.
This is AC's Conversations.
AC's Conversations is about sports, music, TV, movies, and more.
Everything and more.
Everything is ready to go.
That include the latest news and rumors, along with interviews with the biggest names in sports and entertainment.
This
is AC's Conversations with your host,
News 8 Sports Director.
The man is the real deal.
Let's go to work, fella. Anthony Calhoun.
Good evening to everybody. Time to talk about the Indianapolis Colts. And all right, they're 4-4 in the season. Tough loss yesterday, but the talk among Colts Nation and just all over social media this evening has to do with the quarterback and Anthony Richardson. We know he had probably the worst game of his young NFL career, but is what he did during that third quarter, literally subbing himself out of the game, no injury. He just said he was tired. I mean, give me your take on this. How shocked were you to see this move by the QB?
I was stunned. Frankly, it's something I've never seen in the NFL. And I'm talking about running quarterbacks. Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, whoever you want to label of that. I've never seen them tap the helmet to come out of not only a play in a game, but also the biggest game of the season when you put it into that perspective as well. So it was a shocking sight, and frankly, I thought we saw a lot of immaturity from Anthony Richardson in game, and I thought we saw more of that post game from him. And that's not something I felt like I've seen about or said about the 22-year-old very often, but I felt like we saw that yesterday. And again, I was just shocked to see a quarterback. That's you're the president of the United States. When you're a quarterback and you're a captain, you can't be doing that. I think it sent a strong message to the rest of the locker room in a very negative manner.
Yeah, we talked about just his play on the field yesterday. He was 2 of 15 against the Texans in the first half alone. So he had his struggles there on the field. And we've seen him injured throughout his young career here with the Colts. And so when he tapped his helmet, at first, I know he was a little slow to get up. I was concerned about him being injured. I know you had a chance to spend some time today with some of his teammates. What's the reaction about him subbing himself out of the game?
Yeah, I thought Ryan Kelly, another captain, had a great answer about it, basically saying it's a bad look. It sends the wrong message. You've got a dozen guys on this football team that are asked to play every single snap. It's part of being a quarterback. It's part of being a captain. It's part of getting the amount of money that those specific positions get. But I think at the same time, Kelly prefaced by saying, look at that play that Richardson had. He also shed a 315-pound defensive lineman to keep that play alive. I was so stunned, AC, because it's un-Richardson-like. We watch him play the game. He's not a soft player. He doesn't avoid hits. He takes on contact.
That's right.
So for him to not have the situational awareness at that moment, to stay in the game, again, the biggest game of the season, that to me is maybe the most shocking aspect to it all.
Okay, so let's talk about the coach and Shane Steichen as well. I mean, you can say what you want to say about Anthony Richardson. We know he had a tough day yesterday. His decision to sub himself out was not a smart decision there. But what about the coach here? So he was asked today about the situation coming up on Sunday against the Vikings. We know that Richardson struggled last game against Houston. He didn't really make a commitment to his quarterback if he's going to be the starter on Sunday against the Vikings. How much were you surprised by his comments today regarding his QB?
I was, because it's a big 180 from how Shane Steichen usually talks about Anthony Richardson. It's the first week, AC, we've ever had in the Anthony Richardson career where he is healthy and Shane Steichen has not committed to him. How much is it gamesmanship? Early in the week, you're playing a very exotic Minnesota defense. Maybe I'm reading too much into that. Is this something that is higher in the organization and is kind of being demanded towards the head coach? That's probably a fair question to ask, given the history. But again, we just haven't heard Steichen do this, not to mention 10 games into a career that when Anthony Richardson was drafted, they were adamant, playing. He's got to be on the field. You have to learn with those reps. It's just such a 180 from how they've talked about him. And I'm talking all parties involved, Jim Irsay, Chris Ballard, and Shane Steichen.
Yeah, right. And real quick, before we get out of here, I want to ask you this. Number one, would you play him or start Flacco coming up on Sunday? And number two, how much is on Shane Steichen as well, working with this young quarterback?
Certainly. He needs better support, Anthony Richardson. I think two things are true. Anthony Richardson has not been very good, but he also shouldn't be benched. What do you gain from a 39-year-old Joe Flacco going out there? We've seen this song and dance before from the Colts. We saw it with Gardner Minshew, Matt Ryan, Phillip Rivers, Jacoby Brissett, Carson Wentz. And where's it got you? Right here, to this point, where you're still looking for the future at quarterback. The Band-Aid, the 9-win season, whoop-de-doo. It just doesn't get you anywhere as an NFL franchise. You look at the top of the AFC right now, Kansas City, Buffalo, Baltimore. These teams have that franchise quarterback. Just because you might not think you have it doesn't mean you go to the Band-Aid. I think you stay patient with Richardson, see what he can do, and then if you have to make a bigger decision at the end of the season, so be it. But a 39-year-old Band-Aid quarterback, Been there, done that with this team.
Okay, so the Colts, they have tomorrow off. They're back to work on Wednesday. I kind of agree with you. I don't think they're going to make a change going into Sunday, but we'll see what happens.
Discover more at wishtv.com and when you follow Wish TV on Facebook. Plus, be sure to follow and subscribe to the AC's Conversations podcast and others on the All Indiana Podcast Network. Connect now at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.